And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am so delighted to host debut author Yasmin Angoe here to tell us about her brand new book, Her Name is Night, which is racking up all the praise and rave reviews, and she's going to give us the inside scoop. Yasmin, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about Her Name is Night.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. So Her Name is Night is about an elite Ghanaian assassin. Her name is Nina Knight, and she goes on this mission of revenge and redemption in a way when she comes across some men who she thought were dead after they had long ago just totally laid waste to her small idyllic Ghanaian village and killed all of her family. And she thought they were gone, but then she found out not so much. And so, in order to save her current family that she is adopted into and her love interest, she needs to get rid of them again before they do this thing again.
Well, there is a lot to talk about, and we're going to get all into it. But first, I just want to welcome everyone who is watching with us on Facebook, watching with us on YouTube, watching with us on Murder by the Books channels, my channels, and my private Facebook group on YouTube. Wherever you're watching from, you're in the right place for hashtag Mystery Monday, because you know Mondays can be murder. So if you have any questions, if you've been here before, you know the drill. But if you're new, here's how it works. Every Monday, I give you my two handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Yasmin about Her Name is Night. Ask her about Nina. Ask her about her research. Ask her about this female assassin. We got a lot to talk about. So get the questions going in the comments. I'll get them right over to Yasmin. This is your time to ask this author anything that you like. Welcome, Jane. Welcome, Kristen. Welcome, Hilly. So great to have you all here with us tonight. So Yasmin, this book is racking up crazy good praise that you have earned. So of course, David Baldacci right here on the front cover, raving a Cracker Jack story with truly memorable characters. I can't wait to see what Yasmin comes up with next. Congratulations on that. That must have made your day. Walk us through the moment when you got that blurb.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that one was a wild one. That one came through my agent. So she sent it to me and the editor and everyone. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe that, he blurbed it and, all of the others too. But like that one was amazing. I was like, he read it, he blurbed it. Oh my gosh. And then I had to go look up what Cracker Jack meant. But but and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, okay. So yeah, but I'm honored and it's exciting. It was exciting.
Yay. So walk us through your path to publication. This is your first book. You're a debut author. You have earned all these incredible reviews. How did you get from that idea, that seed, that germ of an idea to this hardcover, gorgeous book that I am
It's
holding in
pretty,
my
isn't
hand?
it?
How long did it take you to write it? What was the process like? Leisha Haney, welcome. So great to have you. Mystery and Thriller Maven there. Welcome back, Leisha. Great to have you. So
Hi.
Yasmin, walk us through the process. Give us a glimpse.
Oh gosh, that process had a whole lot of detours and everything. So I had this inkling. I had the character kind of in my mind years and years back. So maybe back in like 2010, I actually kind of knew that I was going to write a character that was going to be real like just totally off the top and someone who was I don't know if I can go kickass, like that kind of stuff. And but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with her and where her story was going to go. So it didn't really kind of formulate for me until several years later. I had lost my dad, and so I was going through a whole lot of things, and I wanted to, incorporate a lot of my culture, and so I just didn't feel ready until about 2018 is when I actually sat down and was like, okay, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to write this character in the genre that I really, really love. Because prior to that, I was writing I was trying my hand at women's fiction, which I still truly love and everything. But where my heart is in what I read and what I watch on TV is thrillers, mysteries, suspense, action, all of that. I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan, and Jack Reacher and Ryan and Jason Bourne and all of those things. And all of those people. And so I wanted to write a story that was along those lines, that did all those things that those guys did, but I wanted the character to be someone that I usually don't see in those roles, in those spaces. And that would be someone like me, you know, a Black lady, and then someone who was not even from America, you know, so someone who was from Ghana, a place that people probably wouldn't even like put together with, you know, assassin and stuff like that. And so that's really when I decided that that's what I want to do, then everything kind of fell into place, and I just kind of took off. It took me, I started in like 2018 and then I finished mid 2019. So it took me about a year to really get it to where I wanted it to be. And then I spent the rest of 2019 really fine tuning it and honing it to the point where I felt it was good enough to start querying at the beginning of 2020.
Oh, I love that. Wow, you're fast. Welcome, Ricky. Welcome, Judy. Welcome, Christopher. Welcome, Katja. Welcome, Deb. Welcome, everybody. So great to have you. The questions are already pouring in, and I can't wait to get to
Oh,
all of them.
wow.
Tova Lynn would like to know, where do you find your assassin inspiration? Yasmin, yes, we got a kick-ass, relentless, kind of not heartless, but she kills. She does her job, and her job is to kill with precision, with a mercenary like focus. Tell us the backstory. That great question, Tovalin.
Yeah, that is a great question. Where did I find my inspiration for her? I wanted her to really be like the guys that I saw, and I wanted her to be able to be at the level of action that they have, so she can do, you know, anything that they can do. One of my favorite quotes. So when I grew up, my stepmom used to like. She likes all those like noir movies, the black and whites and things like that. So I watched like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And I love Ginger Rogers. And so one of the quotes that she said was something like, I can do anything that a man can, that they can do, only I do it backwards and in a dress or in heels. And so I was like, when I remembered that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's my assassin. She can do anything they can do, but she can do it backwards and she can do it in a dress and heels if she has to, though she doesn't prefer those clothes. But yeah, so that was my inspiration. And I just really wanted to put a, you know, a woman who is not usually seen, period, in that role where she could really do these things and she's able to compartmentalize just like they, you know, the men do. But then she also has a lot of layers. She's like Shrek, she's an onion and has lots of layers. Okay. So that's what this book has, a lot of layers, but it also has a whole lot of action. So hopefully I'm giving a little bit of something to everyone. Hopefully.
I love that inside scoop. Thank you, Tovalin, for the great question. Thank you, Yasmin, for the scoop. Leach is saying the cover is beautiful. It sure is. So red and orange are my favorite colors. And we have this gorgeous Black woman in this gorgeous dress just owning this cover. Yasmin, let's hear the story behind the cover for Leach and for all of us. Did you get input into this? Was this the first cover? Was this the 100th? Did you say, or is there a pile of ones you rejected? Did they ask you? Tell us all about this cover.
Yeah, no, my editor, she included both me and my agent in the process from the very beginning. She sent me a bunch of various pictures. She asked me what like my inspiration was for what, you know, who I was envisioning when I was writing it. And so my who I envisioned, I don't know if I'll say her name right, but her name is Yetere, and she was an actress on oh my gosh, now I can't even think of the movie, but it is on Showtime. It's a TV series with like gods and things like that. And anyway, so she's who and the name will come to me probably when we're done, and I'm gonna have to email you and tell you who it is. But yeah, so she was kind of like who I envisioned, and so from there, then they went and they found, you know, models that kind of look like and different. And they asked me about like what kind of clothes would Nina wear, and so that's how we all kind of came to this. And then that dress, even though she typically wouldn't wear a dress, but that dress is significant because it's one of the scenes in the book, and so that's why that was out there, and we wanted her to really embody this character. And so the model just really came together. And the designer is like, whose name is Ann Latham, I believe. She just was fantastic with the color, with everything. So kudos to her, and thank you. And then thank you to the editor, because I really didn't know what to expect since it was my first one. I would have gone with anything. I'd have gone with this, picture here if they let it, because I was just happy to be published. So, but they really came through. So I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so glad that you love it and that you got to be included in the process, because I think there's so much pressure that, so much, because it is such a competitive industry, there is this feeling of, I'm lucky to be here. I mean, I'm just lucky to get a book published. I'm lucky to be even considered. And then sometimes I have friends who aren't happy with their covers, and that stinks. So I'm so glad that you were included and that you feel that it represents, the vision that you have for Nina, and that she looks like her, and that it feels like the energy of her and of the book. That is fabulous. Leisha's saying thank you for answering her question. Leisha, thanks so much for being here with us tonight. So Yasmin, you shared that you wrote this book shortly after you started thinking about it, and were inspired shortly after you lost your dad. First of all, I'm so sorry for your loss in 2018. I'm so sorry. And it sounds like you had an incredibly beautiful and special relationship with him. And you shared that you wrote this in part, this story of this kick-ass female assassin, as an homage to your dad and the relationship that you shared. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, sure. So yeah, I started writing it in 2018. He passed earlier than that. He passed in like 2010. And so it took me that amount of time to really feel like maybe now I could talk about it, and or write about it, or try to figure out how I was feeling. And so when I wrote this story, it just really came. There wasn't anything where I was like, I'm going to write these people in this way. It really just kind of came out, and was like really cathartic, and something I needed to do. And that's how the fathers that Nina encounters in the book, in Michael and in Noble, and even in Court and his daughter, that's how they kind of just came out, because I was like, I'm going to highlight my culture, but I'm also really going to write this book for my dad, who I dedicated to at the beginning. And I just want people to see like this great dad that I had, and these great times that we had, and try to feel that way in the love that Nina has for these men in her life. And so she cherishes that. She cherishes family above anything. And so even though she is an assassin, and I think at the beginning we said she's an assassin with a heart, and things like that, but she's an assassin who to her family is everything. And it's always been everything. And so that is the thing that drives her throughout this whole entire book, is that, her family is everything. And so when she lost them, she was devastated. She was dealing with survivor's guilt. So Yasmin, the writer, was dealing with guilt because I wasn't there when my dad passed. And so you'll see, those are the things in which she and I maybe are the same. I'm no assassin. So she took it a step further, but yeah, so that is why you'll see like that heavy um father family kind of theme that goes on in the story, is because that was something that was really prominent in my mind.
I love that. And it was so interesting because as I was reading it, I didn't know that you had started to germinate the idea, partly as an homage to the relationship that you share with your dad and the wonderful father that you had. But you can see that, that this is a love, a love poem to fathers and daughters, and Nina, you know, uh, as you said, has been through a lot. So she is a human trafficking victim and survivor, and dealing with all of that trauma, but seeking family, seeking belonging, as we all do. Leisha saying you are very blessed to have had a great dad. I was also very blessed to have had a very, very good dad. Also, I am so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Leisha, thank you. That's so lovely. Um, welcome Judy, welcome Ricky, welcome Christopher, welcome Jeff, welcome everybody. So great to have you here. Yasmin Lecha is also saying, could you tell her about the title? Her name is Night. I love this title. And she would like to know, did you think of the title before you even wrote the book, or when did it come to you?
No, actually, the title was Wodini, which means killer in tree, which is what she speaks in the book, and is also what she's called in the book. And so that was the original title. Her name is Night, which is a fantastic title. That actually came from my agent, Melissa Edwards, because they wanted a title that would really like grab everyone and would also serve as an introduction to Nina. And so that is why the title is the way it is. And my agent is like phenomenal with like pitches and titles and all this other stuff. So even like with the second one, it was untitled because I'm the worst at them. And so I was just like, y'all can figure out what you want to call it. I'll just write the book for you. That's all.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Lecha, thanks for asking, because I always wonder about the title too. Did this arrive as a lightning bolt strike of genius? Did, Yasmin come with, and did you say your editor or your agent came up with it?
My agent came up with it.
Wow.
And we brainstormed a lot, and all of the ones that I picked or I came up with sucked, and hers were really great. And so we were just like, hey, we're just gonna go with that one that you picked. And so I give her all the credit because she's the one who came up with it. And it was like, yeah, that fits.
It's so good. Her name is Night, and it's so cool because, of course, it's, she does come from a lot of darkness. There's a lot of darkness in the book, but she is a knight. She is a crusader. She is a fighter. She is an assassin. Badass. And so I love that. And so fascinating to know. So you actually, and you shared this, you were thinking of calling it Wodini. So I'm going to put that in the comments so everyone can see it. So it's the English translation would be Udini, pronounced Wodini, which means assassin in Nina's native language. And which of course is fitting, but that was so you just wanted to call it that.
Yes, because I wanted to call it what she is, and she was a killer. She was an assassin, and I just wanted to leave it, just this is what she is, and she takes that armor on proudly, and she doesn't make any qualms about it. She's just very matter of fact and by the book, and so this is what I am. I am a Wodini, and which was fine. And so that's why I put it a lot in this book and in my others, so that even though it's not in the title, it is what she is and what people in her country would call her, if they knew what she did. And she's fine with that, along with many. I mean, if you also notice, well, when y'all read the book, which I hope you do, she is called many things in the book. And so that's also something that's very important, are names and titles and things. And so that is something she calls, and she's fine, just like she will choose her name and things like that. So, yep, everything means something in this book.
Everything means something, because everything means something to Nina. She gets to choose her name because hers is taken from her, and as is part of her identity. And she gets to, as she's adopted into this British family, who chooses her, and she chooses them, the Knights. She then gets to choose this identity of Nina and of Nina Knight, and to choose them as family, which I thought was also lovely, because she's got her family of origin, who she tragically lost, and her family of chosen. And so many of us have those chosen families where we get to, to choose who we love and who to build community and family and love with. So I loved that. Lecha is saying, thank you so much for answering my question about the title. I love the title. It's so great, right, Lecha?
Yeah.
Shay with the hobbies. So great to have you back. Welcome back, Shay. I recognize your handle from Tamron Hall last week. So good to have you back. She says, woo, Nina sounds like my kind of MC. Shay, I think she is. She is a badass, strong woman. She is a survivor. And what I love that you did. So I just want to warn everyone, there is a lot of violence and a lot of hard themes in this. There's a trigger warning on page 1, which helps you to prepare for that, to get into that space. But I like how you describe the physicality of her doing her job, which is an assassin. She gets right in there. It's not from across the room where she just takes a clean shot. She will grab a man and strangle him, stick a needle in his neck. Um, and she is, as you said, doing what we have for so many years seen men on the page, on the screen, on the TV screen, the movie screen, the big screen, the little screen, the page do. And now how wonderful to see a woman, and a Black woman, stepping into her power and kicking ass and taking names later. Shay, thanks for joining us and for your comment. Let us know if you have any other questions or comments for Yasmin. I want to let y'all know that you can grab your copy of the book tonight and support a woman-owned independent bookstore. So I'm going to plop the link in the comments so you know just where to get it. Shay is saying, right there, I'm putting the link to everyone. It's right there in the comments. Shay is saying, we appreciate the trigger warnings. Thank you so much for doing that. Shay, thank you for saying that. I was just saying that to Yasmin in the green room. So right there on page 1, there is those trigger warnings, which lets you know you gotta brace. You gotta be ready for it. And there's also a list of phone numbers where people can reach out to, coming from different things that they may be dealing with. Yasmin, tell us about writing this dark subject matter. How did you go into that headspace to create it, and how did you get out to protect yourself?
Yeah, so I really had to be in the zone when I was writing it. And so when I was writing it, I wrote the book really in two parts, because to me, the book is like two books in one. And so when I was writing those scenes, those before scenes that would have all of this stuff in it, like I just had to write it all the way through, and those came out very quickly. It wasn't easy. It was very difficult to write, and I thought about what was the best way that I felt like I could write it as respectfully as I could, for it not to sound gratuitous, and for it not to sound like I was sensationalizing anything, because I had the utmost respect for people who have been through this experience. I actually went to, in my education job that I had, I went to a seminar and was able to listen to survivors of human trafficking, and their strength, their resilience, their beauty, and just how they persevered through all of that and survived and made life, in the choices that they made, and how whatever they crafted for themselves now, it just totally blew me away. And that is the kind of ideal and thought I had when I was writing this, that yes, this one character is going through this thing, and I'm going to write it in a way where you're experiencing how she's feeling, more so than exactly what is happening. And then also you will really go through that whole survival that she goes through, and so that she can embody kind of like what these other women and men that I was listening to, what they had embodied, and what the strength that they had. And I wanted their strength to kind of like come through this character, because I just thought it was just so amazing how they were able to do all that. And so those are the things, that's what kind of brought me through, is as I was writing it, I was like, she is going to, so I know, even though I'm the one who wrote it and I'm the one who knows what's going to happen, when I was writing it, like I didn't necessarily know like how is this going to like pan out, right? And I felt it just like you feel it as a reader. Like I felt it even though I was writing it, as if it was like my very first time reading it. And so I had to keep telling myself, okay, she is going to survive it, obviously, because there's all these other pages that have to happen. But like she's going to survive it, and she's not going to let uh she's not going to let it label her and dictate her how she's going to be. She is going to be even better, and she's going to use that to make her, most of all, save herself. And so that was super important to me, is that not only is she a survivor, but she's saving herself, and because she's that tenacious, and she's that driven, that she just has to live and get through this thing, and she's not going to let these people be the ones that bring her down. And so that's what drove me. And so I hope that when you read it, and yes, the trigger warnings, and thank you to we had a sensitivity reader who read the book, and she provided the resources and things like like that. And that was the best idea ever that she had, because not only are we discussing a problem, but we're giving just a little inkling of a solution, So, and I'm all about that. And so I hope that everyone takes that and realizes it's definitely not a trauma book. It is a book about survival. It is a book about reclaiming your identity and reclaiming your power that is ever taken in whatever fashion or format that you have, you're pained and something is taken from you, reclaiming it, and making it your own. So I can go on and on. I'm sorry if I'm babbling. I
You're not babbling, you're
Okay.
preaching. You are taking
Okay.
us to church, and I am here for it. It is a book about reclaiming your power. I mean, that really says it all. It's taking her identity, it is taking her power, it is taking back her power, stepping into her power. She is a strong woman. I love that. Thank you guys for your questions. I'm going to get to every single one of them. The next one coming in from Leisha, she says, did something happen to Nina that made her turn into an assassin? You don't have to say what, but if you want to say either yes or no, and then she clarifies, you don't have to even answer yes or no. If it is a spoiler, no spoilers, please. Don't worry, Leisha. We'll never give a spoiler here.
We'll never give a spoiler. Yeah. No, nothing specifically happened that made her turn that way. It's just a choice that she made, because she felt like that was the way for her to get through the things that she was dealing with. So that was her. It's part of her process, and it's just something, and it became her job. So it is now just her job.
It's part of her process.
It's part of the healing process. I would have to read the book to understand what that meant, okay? Because she's asked the question, and so that is part of her healing process, as to why she went into it. It's a good question.
That is a good question. Thank
You tried to trick me, but you ain't. But even though she said don't tell anybody, but that was a good question, because I'm ready to tell everything. I got to remember not to.
She reeled you in, Yasmin. She said, "Oh, you don't have to say." But next thing you know, we're just saying. I want to invite everyone to join my free and open to all Facebook group, and you can enter to win a copy of Yasmin's book. So the link is in the comments. Come join us. We talk about mysteries and thrillers, and it is fabulous. You can request authors. You can submit questions in advance. Some do, and you can enter to win books. So hop on over there. Melissa Watson, welcome to the conversations. She's saying, this sounds fascinating and powerful. Yes, absolutely. Melissa, thank you so much. Shay with the hobby saying, yes, Black girls can save themselves. Yes, to sensitivity readers. I am beyond excited. If you can't tell, LOL. So glad this was my Amazon first reads pick. Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Yes, we are also beyond excited. So the process of the sensitivity reader you mentioned, tell us a little more about that. Did you say, did they just say, listen, this book needs it? Did you request it? How did you find them? What kind of person was it? Is this their full-time job?
Right. You know what? I don't know. Well, Amazon, my publisher, Thomas and Mercer, they're the ones, I think they have like a cadre of, different kinds of editors and things. And sensitivity reading is actually something I do in my freelance editing, along with developmental editing. So I know it well. And I think I had put the trigger warning in, and because they knew that there were some sensitive topics. So like they're really good about, hey, let's just make sure that everything, that we've kind of caught everything, because I could be like, hey, there are these things. And I had critical partners who read it prior to, and so like they gave me some, hey, like you might want to warn about this, because I wasn't prepared, because initially when they read it, they didn't get any warnings, my lovely critical partners. And so like they're the ones, and I wrote it, and I just didn't think, hey, let me, even though I had prepared myself, I didn't think, hey, let me prepare them. So they're the initial ones that said, hey, you might think about, and I was like, yeah, you're right. And so even in my queries, when I was querying agents, I said, now there's going to be some things in here, and I'm just warning you right now. And so like I just try to be like, no one can ever catch everything, but I do, try to let you all know that, hey, there's some things. And so like even my mom won't read it, because not because of those particular things, but she just thinks, because Nina is a killer, then she must be going to hell or something. I don't know, but like that's my mom. But like, so I'll say that to other people, like, don't let your children read it, and if it's for your mother, you might not want to let your mom read this, depending on if she likes that kind of stuff. So like they found the reader, and the reader was great. It had some great insight and said, these are the things that I listed, and then like, what if we also include resources? And I was like, that is a fantastic idea. Like, yes, let's do that, because then that takes it a step further, like, trying to be helpful and trying to be, very aware, because I do always want to do that. And so that's what I do when I'm even like, working and like reading things as a sensitivity and authenticity reader, sorry. And then I'm also happy to have received that.
I love that you both are a sensitivity reader and we're receiving this to both to work on both sides. That must have been
Mhm.
really cool. Welcome, Gail. Welcome, Mike O'Neill, Mystery and Thriller Maven member there. Great to have you. Welcome, Danny. Welcome, Jessica. So great to have y'all. Keep the questions going. We have 15 more minutes with Yasmin, so I want to get all your questions in. Yasmin, another fabulous review that you earned was from the Library Journal, who awarded you a starred review.
I
Congratulations on
know.
that. And they
Thank you.
raved this stunning debut deftly balances action, interpersonal relationships, issues of trauma, and profound human questions in an unforgettable novel. Thank you for the hearts and the likes, y'all. So
Yeah.
thrilled to have that. Yasmin, let's talk about that, because I think as a writer, of course, we all want our work to be reviewed. We want to be seen. We want to be appreciated. We put this work out there. We want people to like it. We put this meaningful work out there. We want people to say, I get it. I picking up what you're putting down. But if we set out with these big goals of, I want to address, I'm going to pop this up, profound human questions, it could get out of control. It could get too much too fast. And yet you did it with a starred review. Let's talk about how you actually do that. Profound human questions is nothing light. How did you do that? How did you seek to do it? And how did you actually pull it off from a craft perspective?
I don't know. No, oh, because they weren't profound to me. I have no idea, but it
Really?
sounds really nice right there. But no, I think so. When I'm writing, and that goes with any kind of writing, even with my women's fiction. First and foremost, no matter what I do, I'm always going to write about women. So it's going to be women in any kind of space. And so even though I was writing action, I was like, it's about a woman. And, as women, there are a lot of things that we go through. There are a lot of parts of us that we have to like give to people and do. We are always in there's a lot of things going on with women. We are complicated. And so therefore that meant that my book has to be complicated to be true to, a woman. And so um I always have questions. I'm someone who always wants to know the why about things, and to try to figure out things. And so that's why, I'm like, okay, I've got this female assassin. People like, like the one who asked, like, how did she become an assassin? Why is she an assassin? Why an assassin? And so like I had to delve into that. And then, I'm also thinking about like the human trafficking, and how and why is that still happening in this day and age, when we had, slavery so long ago, and everybody says it's bad, but why is it still there? Why is it happening next door and we don't even know like it's happening? And why, are people, why, how can people be so nasty and ugly and cruel to each other? So those were just the things that I was thinking about. And I was also thinking about, at the base of it, how does this one woman, after all that she's been through, and she's closed herself off to protect herself, from ever experiencing loss again, right? Because she did lose something, and then she finds, there's even a little bit of love maybe for her in this, right? How does she open herself back up to that? how does one do that? And so where did that come from with Yasmin? That came from, well, when you deal with divorce, how do you move on from divorce? So divorce to me was like, assassinating people, I guess, in this book, in a sense, because I'm trying to figure out, how does one move on after that? How does one move on after they've lost, a parent who meant the world to them, or whatever, whatever loss you experience? How do you move on? So those were the questions that I was asking myself, and I didn't think they were profound then. I just thought that this is just Yasmin trying to figure out, what the hell is going on in her head. And I appreciate, that, what the library journal said, because I'm just like, wow, they made it sound really nice, and they made me sound like I made some sense. And I'm just happy that it is received well, because honestly, it was really me trying to figure out things about life, and then also
Mm.
trying to make it in a story that is um, entertaining, because I always want to entertain, and I always want to tell a damn good story. And so that's all I want to know, is that people are like, you know what, Yasmin, you told a damn good story, and I'll be happy with that.
I love that. I love that. And I love seeing your work honored in this way, seeing that people get it, seeing readers, seeing the reviewers, call it profound. I mean, this is wonderful and earned and deserved. Congratulations.
Thank
Leisha saying
you.
she's sorry she misspelled Nina before.
That's
That it,
okay.
that's okay, Leisha. We gotcha. And she's saying your book sounds so very intriguing. I love suspense, mystery, and thrillers. Leisha, you're in the right place, girl. You are in
Very
the right
much.
place. And I want to remind
Welcome.
everyone to grab your copy tonight, support a woman-owned bookstore. And I'm popping the link into the comments right now. Shay, great question, saying, oh my God, I love this question. Yasmin, what have you learned about yourself through the
Mhm.
process of your debut, making it out to the world? Talk about a profound question. Shay, I love it.
Yeah,
Yasmin, give
that's
us
a
the scoop.
fantastic question. What have I learned about myself? I have learned that I shouldn't doubt myself as much as I have in my life, and shouldn't, and I mean, as early as, let me tell you, y'all, and I've said it before in some other interviews, but when I tell you that right before I got my agent, right before I won the Eleanor Taylor Bland Award for Emerging Writers of Color, I was about to quit writing. I had said I'm going to stop, because I had had so many rejections from agents and everyone who were just telling me, they couldn't connect with the story, and I did not know what that meant. And I was like, what? I don't understand, because you're not giving me something tangible that I could maybe fix, because I am an English teacher, and so we like to work on things and fix things and stuff like that. And that also could be why I'm wordy and I have all these questions, because I'm a teacher, and that's what we have to do, is ask questions. But I was nearly about to quit, and so I had a writer friend, Kelly Garrett, and she said, hey, Sisters in Crime has this contest. Do you want to join it? And I was like, I mean, do you want to apply for it? And I was like, yeah, I don't know if, I never win anything. But I told myself, well, what do I have to lose? I guess, who cares? I'm not going to win. I'll just do this one more thing, just one more thing. And I did that one more thing. And that one more thing became the thing for me. Okay, because I ended up winning. And it just, everything fell into place. I got my agent right before I found out that I won. So that, and then the deal, and then, everything else. And so what I've learned is, when I'm about to doubt myself and tell myself that I'm going to quit, like, no, don't quit, because you know that this is the thing that you love so much, and just do this one more thing, and just keep doing this one more thing. And it may not be some big, huge success, I mean, in some big, huge thing, because success can be anything, right? And because success can just be something small that brings you joy every day in life. And so that's what I learned about myself, is not to doubt myself when I know that, something is good and that it's going to come through. Then I need to stick with it, and just not doubt my talent, and not doubt the choices that I'm making, which is what I was doing then. So I hope I answered that question.
I love that, Yasmin. I love that, because how many of us doubt ourselves, right? how many of us, especially women, how many times do you find yourself thinking, oh, not me, or I couldn't, or that's for other people? I have those thoughts. We all
Mhm,
have those thoughts, right?
mhm.
I love that. Shay saying, yes, she loves Kelly. Kelly's coming on the show, y'all. Kelly's coming on the show when
Oh,
her
yay.
next book comes out
Yes, like a sister.
in
It's
March.
great.
Like a sister
Yes.
coming out in March. Kelly will be on this show. Tracy Clark in the
Hey, it's
house.
Tracy. Hey,
Welcome,
Tracy.
Tracy. I hosted Tracy when her amazing book, Runner, came out this July.
Mhm.
Brilliant,
Fantastic
amazing,
book. Oh,
award-winning Tracy Clark out of Chicago. Welcome. So wonderful to have you. Thank you for being here. Shay saying such a great answer. Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. Shay saying she loves Kelly. This is the word she needed to hear today. Such an inspiration. Leisha saying, thank goodness you didn't give up. And please don't ever give up. Absolutely. Because here we have this book because you persisted. Good for us. Yes, she
Mhm.
persisted. Fantastic. Leisha saying
Thank
Runner is a
y'all.
great book. Runner
It's a
is a great book.
fantastic book.
I love that book. So tell us, Yasmin, as you have so many amazing reviews, and I want to just share a couple more of them because they're so fabulous. S.A. Crosby, award-winning author of Blacktop Wasteland,
Oh,
Razorblade Tears, also absolutely loved your book. Raving that your debut novel is an amazing action-packed international thriller full of suspense, danger, and even romance. It's like a John Wick prequel, except John is a beautiful African woman with a very particular set of skills.
I know that's right.
I think we all want Nina to be on our side. You don't want to be on the
Mhm.
wrong side of Nina Knight.
You
That is
really
for
don't.
sure. What's your favorite scene? Speaking of Kelly Garrett, I'm gonna pop her review up here as well because that is amazing. Kelly, of course, is the Anthony, Agatha, and Lefty award-winning author, and she has lovely things to say about this book as well. She is saying it's hard to believe her name is Knight is Yasmin Angoe's debut novel. This dual timeline story about a highly trained Miami-based assassin who learns to reclaim her power after having her entire life ripped from her as a teenager in Ghana, is equal parts love story, social commentary, and action thriller. Nina Knight will stay with you long after you've read The Last Word, and this is a must-read for fans of Lee Child and S.A. Crosby. Lee, of course, coming on the show on Thursday. She said she found herself crying in one chapter and cheering in the next. She couldn't put it down. So as Kelly is crying in one scene and cheering in the next, what's your favorite scene, both to have written and
Mhm.
also to read, if they're different?
Mm, that's a good question.
I'm curious. We're here for the scoop.
Oh my goodness gracious. What? Because I love so much of I love all of it. And ooh, I think it would have to be one of my favorite scenes would have to be when Delphine asked Nina, to come with her, and Nina, had automatically assumed that she wasn't going to be wanted,
Mm.
and so that was just thinking about it now it makes me like all misty because because that was the moment that I was like finally. Nina is, or Anemia, because she was anemia at that moment, is going to get she's going to get a breath, and she needed to get a breath. And even though life still is going to be hard afterward or whatever, but like it was finally something in which Nina didn't have to be alone anymore. And it really showed her that there's still humanity out there, and that people are still nice, because she's just dealt with so many not nice people that she really just didn't trust anybody anymore. And so when Delphine did that, reached out for her and said, "Come with me," and that was just the moment to me. That was one of my favorite moments. Even as I was writing it, and I could read that over and over and over again. And then so that's my favorite to read, and actually my favorite to write. And I mean, I'm not trying to be cheesy, but I just love like just all of it. And so just all the moments in which Nina is experiencing when she has her friendship with Kegel, and he's like so funny. And then even her relationship with her sister Eileen, like those light-hearted parts are funny and fun to me, because she's just this person who is just like, I just can't even believe this thing is still, like, it's possible to have these nice people in my life, and she still can't believe it after like 16 years. And so it's fun to see people talking to her like, hey girl, just come along, what are you doing? And she's just like, I must go, kill someone or do a mission or whatever. She's just very, what are we doing right now? Why are you hugging? Like that. And so I like that kind of thing. And that brings
Mm.
me, yeah. So, I mean, there's just many. It's just always those parts in which she's with people that remind her about loving and family and tribes. That those are the parts that are really the best to me.
I love that scene too. So this is coming off of Nina is trying to get by. She's out on the streets in Paris and just seeking safety. And then another of my favorite scenes is when she's in a store and she smells products that are what her parents wore. And we
Mm-hmm.
all know the strength of the scent of smell. You smell something, you say, oh, like I smell yellow dial soap, and I say, oh, my grandmother's bathroom, like that yellow dial soap. She had to have that
Mm-hmm.
yellow soap.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
or the smell of your favorite meal, and just immediately you're home, or, and you feel, we all have those favorite smells. And so she smells her mother and she smells her father. And it's such a
Mm-hmm.
powerful moment, right when Ms. Delphine enters her life, and gives her
Yeah.
kindness after she has had so little of it for so long. And when Ms. Delphine asked her to come with her, I cried. It's
Yeah.
very powerful. Leisha's saying that sounds like a beautiful scene. It really is, Leisha. You'll know it when you get to it. She'd like to know, did your characters talk to you while writing this book? And if they did you have to change something in the story because of it? Ooh, cool question, Leisha.
That is a good question. Now, see, if I say that, if I give you an answer, then you're all going to think I'm crazy or something. Like she's got people talking to her, but they actually do, and they will talk to me, Nina especially, of course, and I will actually wake up to words in my head, and I know that, and I won't be able to sleep anymore. They just come from nowhere, and then it's just there, and they keep going, and I know that if I don't write it down, I'm going to forget it, and so I wake up to like certain words. I don't write linearly, so I don't write from front to back. I spot, so very scene, somatic or cinematic or whatever. But like I'll write certain scenes, whatever really feels great to me at that moment, and I can feel especially creative in is what I'll write. And then I'll splice them all together like a Frankenstein. But so yeah, so they're always talking, and they're gonna be like, okay, Yasmin, we're gonna talk about this today. And even when I was writing those scenes, those hard scenes, Nina was right there, and I've said it, to some people who've asked me, like, she's right there, and she's saying, no, we're going to write this, and I'm like, but it's really dark, and people might be mad at me, and I don't know if I could do it, like it's hard. And she's like, this is how it happens, and I need you to say it this way. And so that's how, I very much listen to the words that they're saying to me, whatever it is, and whoever's talking to me. So it could be a character from a whole different book. Then I have to put this down, and I have to write whatever that is for that other book. So if I don't do that, then I feel like the words are not as true to form, and aren't the best words for that story, if that makes any sense.
It sure does. And wow, thank you for that scoop. I love the idea that sometimes other characters start talking to you.
Mhm.
And you have to go tend to them. Reach saying, thank you for answering my question. I love to ask this question. I love the answer because I think it is so special how authors interact with their book characters. Very cool. Well, what a perfect note to end on, y'all. Thank you for joining me as I host this incredible debut author, Yasmin Angoe. Her brand new red hot book. Her name is Night, out now and available for you to grab your copy. Support a woman-owned independent bookstore and get your hands on this female assassin's tale.
Before she gets her hands on you, you better watch out.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. I love that. Um, Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And I will see you Thursday with Lee Child and Andrew Child. Tracy Clark saying, brava, Yasmin. Tracy, thank you so much for being here. Tracy shows up for other authors, and it is so wonderful to have that support. And thank you, Tracy, for being here with us tonight. We're so honored.
You, Tracy. Yeah.
Lisa saying this makes so much sense about about you hearing the voices. It sounds bad when I say it like that, but you know what I meant. Y'all have a great night, and thank you so much. Lisa saying thank you so much, Sarah and Yasmin. I will be adding this great sounding book to my TBR. Good night. Thank you all for being here. Shay saying thank you so much for sharing your words with us. Absolutely, Shay. Well said. So great to have you. I will see you Thursday night. Yasmin, thank you. Congratulations. Have a great night, y'all.
Bye, y'all.